Heather has built a women-only law firm that targets and focuses only on women going through a divorce. I loved the interview we had, and I really hope you enjoy it. Welcome back to the Revenue Roadmap. My name is Tyler Dolph, and I am the CEO of our agency, Rocket Clicks. We also own and operate Sterling Lawyers, which has grown to over 30 attorneys across 25 offices in Wisconsin and Illinois. We are continuing our interview series, and Heather has an amazing firm. She has built a woman-only firm that works exclusively with women going through a divorce. And I talked to her about the focus, the creating a culture around the avatar that she wants to work with. And she has some amazing insights and also some awesome energy. Heather, you were starting to introduce yourself and your amazing firm and the awesome niche that you have built. Give us a little background on that.
So, Florida Women's Law Group is when we represent only women going through divorce and family law issues, and by women. We're all women attorneys and all women employees, and we've really tried to build a space where we can anticipate, the patterns that women go through in a divorce family law issue, and really meet their needs, but also looking at their particular legal issue really is an opportunity for them to achieve more in their life and achieve their goals. So I really take more of a positive spin on their current situation as far as what their future can hold.
I love it. Was it always did you build the firm intentionally to always have that focus, or did that happen?
No. It happened organically. Well, I did a lot of business coaching and had some great groups as I was building the firm. And, a lot of the advice was niche. And, of course, I was doing family law, but like what everybody else does and representing both sides. But what I then learned, and by doing it, is I prefer to represent women. I don't hate men. I have no problem with men. I just want to help women. And I was recognizing a pattern where the women seemed to give up too soon and maybe didn't value what they brought to the table. And I felt like, no, you deserve this. We're going to stand up for you. And so I was kind of like, I can, be your strength. I can do this for you if you're willing to hang in there and trust us to do it. And so that's what started that. And then it really comes from the fact that my mom was married several times and divorced. And I, had a front row seat to that. And saw, as I was realizing these women, it was like, oh my God, that's what my mom did. Just walked away, give up, the kids and all this. And it's like, well, now you have no money. So you got to stand up and fight for the stuff that pays the bills. And so it just really, that's where it really inspired. I was a little nervous, right? I didn't want to be cheesy or seen as a gimmick, but I was like, I really know this is what I want to do. And we did it.
Oh, that's so similar experience. At our law firm, we were all everything to everyone when we started because we knew we could generate leads. That was our secret sauce, right? And so we would generate leads across all these different practice areas. But then like you, we started to realize that actually we really loved the opportunity to help families during this difficult period. And so we, at one point, 10 years ago, gave back 50% of our revenue as retainers, cut half of our staff, and went only family law fixed fee. And similar to you, started to feel that momentum because we had decided on an avatar, we had decided on a niche, and really were able to grow our firm exponentially from there. And I'm wondering if the same thing happened to you. Once you made that decision, decided to start marketing only to women, did you feel like the momentum of your firm accelerated?
I did. And I still had the growing pains, right? It's getting the right people at the right time and, to help with the growth. And also for myself, just become a more educated consumer of the marketing, of the things I needed to do to better fuel the business and have a little patience, right? In understanding, okay, I got to take some time on this level of marketing and wait for it. But then things really started to build. And I think it was when I really saw the momentum shift was making better hires to really support the organization and better attorneys. And then me, myself, becoming better leader, a better person who creates a better culture, and that attracts better people. They want to stay, and then we're able to feel that momentum. And that, I think, is a continual cycle. And people, they live their lives, right? And we just try. You find these great people, you want them to stay forever, and they don't always. And then life does intersect. But we've worked very hard on that to make it a place where people are working with like-minded people that they want to be with, and do this work for women and help our clients be a little bit tougher, a little stronger.
I think that the fact that you have a niche and an avatar and you have this passion behind helping women probably really helps you in the hiring process. It helps you in the interview process because you know exactly what you're looking for, right? You don't just need a great attorney. You need a great attorney that is passionate about helping women specifically.
And that, I always ask those questions, but then you have to really dig into it. And there are a lot of areas in your firm, and not all women, may feel that way, and it might not show up right away. They think they do, or they tell you they do, and then later, as it goes on, they don't maybe have as enough of a passion or patience, when things get busy and stuff. So yeah, it really does though, because it can be like, well, why do you care about women? Well, I never really thought of it, or whatever. It's like, well, you got to have a better answer than that.
100%. That's really cool. We talk to a lot of law firm owners all the time, and we haven't had one that is so specific and specialized, which I think is great. I think from a marketing perspective, it's really cool. Have you found that it's changed the channels that you advertise in and where you go to market and all of that?
Totally. And then this is the funniest thing, or the greatest thing, I guess, because I have my law degree, and I've invested in a lot of business learning, obviously, to grow the firm. But there are a lot of marketing companies out there, and one told me one time, which I won't mention who it was, when their marketing was not working online, their digital stuff, because I was too specific, I was too niched. I was like, I'm not, you just aren't, so you can't. You keep bringing me male clients, keep calling, and that is not who we're looking to hire. Right. Because you have an algorithm and we're not fitting into your thing. So it does, and it allows us to be so specific that then the companies that are really good at what they do, they're like, this makes it almost easier for us. And and then we drill down, and we have about 3 different avatars that we're looking at. You've got your breadwinner, and then you've got your stay-at-home mom, and then you've got your dual income, because all 3 of those have very different needs and concerns and fears. And so then we're really able to tap into that and talk to them and let them know that we can meet you where you are. We can help you.
It's really great. Talk to me about the process of growing your firm and having to become a leader and instill a culture. There's a lot of solo practitioners that want to grow, and oftentimes they're the bottleneck, right? They don't want to let go of the vine. They don't want to install process and invest in a team. How did you go through that experience?
Well, I will say I made tons of mistakes, right? And I tend to see more potential in people than maybe they do, and they have. And so sometimes you think somebody can be that person, and they may believe it, but not as much. They don't want it, and they can't do it. So a lot of trial and error, but you got to keep going. And I think that's where a lot of solo practitioners, you never can hire a lawyer. These lawyers these days don't work. Nobody's going to work. And you have to have some faith, trust people, learn from the mistakes. I've certainly learned in trying to make my mistakes less expensive as I go. But, I also had to invest in myself so that, in the early days, just hustle, working so hard. And I had very little patience for staff, right? I've also got 3 children, dogs and a husband. And so there's a lot going on, right? So I was like, guys, like, you just got to come do your job. And I'm not going to yell at you or curse at you, but like, don't ask me for a whole lot more, right? Like, do your job. There's just a million things going on. But that was also because I was doing so much of the legal work, all the marketing, everything, and running the business. So I had to give up some stuff. I certainly had to realize that I'm really great. I'm a great lawyer. But I can hire somebody who's great too. And I can also train them, and I can give up some of that. That is not all about my ego. And I can actually be so much happier and have so much more harmony in my life if I don't have to take every case. And that helped a lot. And to say no to clients when they're like, well, I'm only hiring if Heather takes my case. And it's like, well, then I'm not this is not the place for you, because I have got so many things that now I've got to do. And you can't text me about your case and want to talk, or on the weekends. Like, that's just not going to happen. I got to have boundaries. So that took a lot of learning. But then as I could delegate more and smarter, not smartly. But anyway, as I could do that better, I could have more peace. And then I really just invested a lot in myself. I did a lot of Tony Robbins coaching to be a more open, patient, forgiving boss. Because there was a time, and I luckily have 2 employees who've been there the whole time. This will be like their 12th year with me. And so they're like, oh, this is way nicer Heather. But they stuck with me because I think they believed in what we were doing, and they gave me grace and allowed me to become better at that. And I have to work through it. And, it's not easy, but, I have a Chihuahua now, had Chihuahuas growing up, and got Chihuahua during the pandemic. And I dress her up and I put her in a purse and I bring her to the office, and it makes me really happy. Makes me very, very happy. And so you got to find things that bring you joy.
I love it. That's awesome. I think the part I heard most from you there is you got to have the motivation to want to improve, to want to grow, to want to be something more than you are today, even if you're amazing today, right?
Yeah.
But having that drive is everything.
Right. And I just knew, like, okay, just being a great attorney is not going to be enough for me, because then I'm going to be in court every day. Like, I'm going to be just like always doing that versus, wow, I'm so impressed with my attorneys. Like, that's just so fulfilling, because like, look at them go and look at what they can do. And really all our support staff and the way they have helped me build something so huge, like they trusted me, that just takes you to a whole nother level of fulfillment. And all these women have great jobs. They're able to adjust their lives with their children. Like that gives me, a lot of satisfaction. And like, hey, I am not only for our clients, but also for our employees. We are doing all of that.
That's so good. That's so great. So I'm thinking about the young law student or young attorney trying to grow their firm, thinking about what's next in their career. What advice do you have for them as they continue on their journey in trying to be a successful lawyer like you?
So I think to allow yourself to find what you love. Like what's fun? I mean, and I use the word fun because, gosh, you got to have some fun. I mean, I loved being a prosecutor. Like that was so fun, and picking juries and arguing, cross-examining. Like it was, and these were, I mean, I was taking it super seriously, Tyler, and these were misdemeanors. And man, I was going for the max, right? And like, but yet it lit that fire. And then I didn't really ever believe this is going to be the path, family law and divorce for women. But I was open to the path that was before me. And I wasn't, and I took that leap. I wasn't afraid to say, you know what, this is what I like. This is what I want to do. Now let me get the education on how to run a business. But like allow yourself to have some fun, right? And nobody says that about lawyers, right? Nobody calls us fun.
No, rarely used.
I know, which is, we get such a bad rap. I really don't like the lawyer jokes. I do not allow my family to tell them in front of me because I was like, they're just not true. And let's tell jokes about doctors or accountants. Like, right? Why do we get such a bad rap?
I agree. I mean, I love your energy. I can see why, like women would gravitate towards your firm. It's so interesting that it's like you've built your practice as an extension of you as a human. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that was intentional, or did it just kind of happen?
I think it happened somewhat naturally, but then I was like, yes, like, okay, this is the way we're doing it. And this is my home office, so this is fun with the pink and everything. But oh my gosh, our main office, which we're now almost done building our new one, but it is you. Everybody likes it, women and men. But I mean, really, we only have women. But it's like we have a salt wall because I was like, I want you to feel at peace and like it's super healthy for you. And I just thought it was the coolest thing. So when we got the office we're in now, my husband's a contractor, so that does help. And I was like, I got to have a salt wall. I was like, I got to have one. Like, I don't ask me why, like I have to. And
like
it's
lit. A wall of salt?
It's a wall of Himalayan salt bricks. And so they're all, and I mean, we don't go licking it. You could. People say you could lick it. Like I don't really, encourage that. But sure. but it's good for the air. It's healing. Like there are salt spas. It's something that you'll see in different wellness areas. But I was like, I gotta have one. I know we're the only attorney's office until they hear us. Wall. You should have a salt wall. And so our new office, now I get even two. We have the one when you walk in, and I have a little mini salt wall in my office. And I'll send you a picture once we move in and it's all done. But so yeah, it when we did this one, it is an extension of me. Like it represents like the way I want to feel. Right? When I walk in somewhere and I don't want to feel like all stuffy with all the brown stuff and books that just clog up and collect a lot of dust on the wall. Like, I mean, we have our diplomas still though, but they're pretty. And, you're supposed to, I wanted to feel welcoming, like who I was. And, I realized that like, I probably wouldn't want a bunch of me working for me. So, obviously we have a lot of great personalities and everyone brings their own characteristics into the firm, but I feel like it is very much an extension of me and my beliefs and values and so and then I think that was what attracts the right employees and clients. Like I want some of that. That's the way I want to feel.
That's great. And that's we talk about when we're hiring, we talk about filters a lot. And leveraging filters as a way to find the right employees and push away the wrong employees. And I think some people, that rubs them the wrong way because like, oh, you should love everyone. But that's not how you run a business, right? You got to have the people who believe in your mission and you got to push away those who don't. And so it feels like you've set up a lot of great filters in your organization and your firm to find people that are believing in your mission and are ready for the cause.
Yes, and just for the young attorneys, I'll tell you what helps is not having me do all the hiring. Because like I said, one, I know we need people, and I unrealistically see all the potential in everybody, which then I set myself up to be let down. So you've got to have those other filters so that and they believe, and that's what they want, and they see it. And, we've started with a lot of positions, it's like just a test run. Like, we'll pay you just to train for half a day. Like, let's really see if you like it, because you may not know as part of the interview process for a lot of the positions. And that is really helpful because they need to be sure. Like, you need to be sure as best you can that this is where you want to be, because we're working really hard to have somebody here. And yeah, and then it's like our admin team and our sales team, like they're great to give their gut check on somebody new, like you said, because it's like, if it's not the right person, it's not good for anybody. It's never good for anybody.
The cost of a bad hire is just way too high these days.
It's way too high. It's way too high. And shoot, I don't want somebody leaving a job that they have and then coming here and then it not works out and then they have to go through that. I don't want that, if I can avoid it.
100%. I totally agree. Mm-hmm. And so having a really strong hiring process is so key. But to the point I was making earlier, having that filter and that culture and that belief of this is who we want and this is who we are is really going to help in that hiring process.
Yes, it does, because that's the idea, right? They teach us that in marketing. We want to attract the right people and repel the ones who don't want us. They'll be like, oh my God, no, we don't want any of that. Good. Then that's good. Like, you're going to go to find another firm that's better for you, right? That's the messaging. And same for people who don't want to work with us. Like, I don't want to do that. Good. Let's not waste anybody's time. That's so good. Right. There should be somebody there's a business for you that's better for you to work for.
Oh, preach. I'm so glad to hear you agree with that. It's just got to happen. So as we're kind of like finishing up here, tell us about the future of your firm. I've like just love and adore everything you're doing. I so appreciate, what you've given us. And I really want to hear, like, what are you building? What's coming?
Well, so many things. Yeah, well, and now we'll have 2 salt walls. So we have this beautiful new big office coming. And we're still growing, but growth for just growth's sake is not necessarily what we want. We're always trying to just do better, right? And deliver more services to our clients. We're doing the podcast, which I don't know if I mentioned that, but I know, I have a podcast called Women Winning Divorce. We are, I think this might be year 3. I lose track, but I think so. I don't know. But it's great, and that's really giving us a lot of traction. And so, I have an idea that I'm going to write a great book, and then we're going to go on tour and put the podcast on the road and the book, and maybe create something that inspires women just all over the world. And so that's like the next level.
That's like the big audacious goal.
Yes.
I love that. What do you think that looks like? Like, when you sit there and imagine, is it seminars? Is it events?
I think could be seminars and events, and creating a space for women, because the podcast called Women Winning Divorce. Because as many attorneys love to say, right? And nobody wins. And it's just like, that's just not true. That's not true. Because you can win, and that's not by making someone else lose. Because you can achieve your goals, and very often in a divorce, they can still get their way. You can get your way, maybe not 100%, but a lot of the part, like the main things that are super important to you. And I think I'm very competitive. So I do love to win. But yet, like, that's what we tell our the attorneys too, and the clients. Like, don't hire me to lose. Like, I'm not going to lose. Like, we're going to do what it takes to win if that's something we can achieve. And, we sometimes have like, hey, who had a win today? Because there was a time in my life when, getting my kids to school and preschool without like totally, melting. That was a win. I wasn't totally melting because I'm like fully dressed for court, hair and makeup, and, getting them in and out of the car seats and in where they have to go on time, and me getting on time. Like, that's a huge win. And we should celebrate, because too often we don't celebrate the little things, but they just make up your day, your life. It's all the little moments, but and as women, I think sometimes we're so hard on ourselves, and we don't give ourselves enough credit for, like, look at what you're doing. And that is a win. And I think that we can all win. And I really want women to win at life. I want my employees to win at life. It's like, we ask them, what does that mean to you? Because it means something different to everybody. But to sit in there as like being defeated like a victim, like nobody can win. Well, if that's your perspective, that's fine. But that's not mine.
You're not going to be on our team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh man, I wish we had like 9 hours, because I want to hear so much more about you and your firm. I'm so grateful that you were able to give us this time, Heather. I would love to have you back on so that we could take a deeper dive into the firm, but I really appreciate your time today, and we'll look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you so much. This has been a pleasure.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to check out our owner-operator interview series that we have. We do these every single week. We're interviewing law firm owners and allowing them to share their stories, their wins, their losses. And today was no different. Make sure to check out the next one we have, as it is one you don't want to miss.